Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to the Campfire. It is Tuesday. It is March something or other. Screw dates. Who cares? It's a Tuesday. I am joined by amazing people, including an echo of my own voice. To start off with, I am joined by Screenager.
Hello.
I am joined by the Blankspace.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing this wonderful day?
And we are joined by a very, very special guest from the Anouk.com website, which is a gaming community, and a whole bunch more. It's more than just that. But we are joined by the lovely and elegant Elloa.
Hello, everyone.
And what we also have is something rather interesting, considering the fact that we've got more than just American accents and Scottish accents today. Which is great.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. See, we have sexy accent and whatever the heck that is. So we've got Elloa and then we've got Screenager. So it's good. It's a nice mix. It's kind of like sweet and sour, you know?
It's wow. I don't know how to take that. But what we can do is at the start of every show, when we have a guest, we tend to roast them. It's our chance to get to know them, give them a chance to speak up and say whatever happens to be going on in their lives, really. So, Elloa, are you ready to be roasted?
Yes, don't put too much salt, please. It is bad.
Right. So we're going to avoid salt. We'll stick with the cayenne pepper instead. So let's start off with the very first one. If you could, give us 2 truths, 1 lie about yourself, any order you want, and you do not reveal what's what.
Okay. So I will start with my first story. What mattered very much for me in my raiding life, when I was raiding, was the first kill with my guild. That was better than any epic or legendary loot. And so when we tried the Lich King for several weeks, and at the end, my boyfriend and me were both playing priest. I was disciplined, he was holy. We had been replaced by other healer, and they got the kill. And I was so disgusted, because it was even not a healing problem. It was just the tank who tried a new tactic. We succeeded, and I swear that I will never, ever kill the Lich King to not have the achievement on any of my character.
Okay.
The second story.
She's so prepared. I love this. This is great. I can just sit back and watch.
So my second story in Anouk.com, I had the chance recently to meet a very, very cool guy. We invited me to make his 24-horse streaming event. And so we get along nicely, and he invited me for some holidays in his cottage in Ireland. It's Chris from Spartan Jester. And for my third story, I'm making a YouTube series called Elloa the Rantosaurus, and I got the name because my boyfriend called me the Rantosaurus. When the evening I go to bed and he wished me a good night, instead of kissing and hugging, I start to rant about MMOs during 10 or 15 minutes.
Right? So we have
this has been the best ever.
I was just going to say, this is absolutely amazing. So we have the I will never have the Lich King achievement or kill him because I couldn't be a part of the first kill. We have a special invite to Ireland from a special someone and the Rantosaurus. Right. And of course, as I had said, we're not going to find out. It's just how we work here. Yeah, we leave it up to you guys and the community to guess. So we move into our next. Go ahead, Screen.
No, I'm not even going to say it. Not even going to make slurs towards the Irish.
What? Screen! Naughty.
What?
Be nice to other guilds and communities.
What?
Now we're just tripping down troll lane.
That's it.
Moving forward.
That's a country. No, they're not a guild. They're a country. I could pick a fight with a country.
You would pick a fight with a
all the time.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question for you, Elloa. With With
I'm listening.
hindsight being 2020, describe a decision that you have made for your guild or community in the past. Makes a difference whether it's the current one or previous ones that you've been a part of, where it felt like the right decision in that moment in time, but now that you've had more experience under your belt, you look back at it and you go, could have made a better decision there.
Coming on here doesn't count.
Yeah, it's more a question of an adventure I will not want to participate in anymore because I find it too complicated. It's to make a role-playing guild. I started Guildmaster in several role-play projects, and this is something I will never be part of anymore. Not because I don't like roleplay or I don't like roleplayer, but because it's really masochist. You have this.
You must be a masochist to build a roleplay game. A roleplay guild.
It's seriously that. You have all these difficulties in the guild management. In addition, you have the double of the effort, of the problem, of the worries, of anything you need to handle in a roleplay guild. You need to deal with the person and be sure they will get along, but also with their character. You need to take care of the lore. You need to be sure that no one will mix up roleplay problem with real life problem, and it always ends like that. So you have a role-play fight, and it's become a real-life fight. And so from a leader point of view, it's a lot more tiring. It's exhausting, actually. It's interesting, but it's too much problem. And so I want to relax. I want to have the time to play the games. And, well,
if you want to have time to play a game, don't go into guild or community management.
Yeah.
That tends to be how it works. Okay.
Yep.
Right. So for your final question, where we finish roasting you alive, what was one of the most memorable events in your guild or community that gave you, the individual, the greatest sense of accomplishment?
Well, that's one. How can I explain this? In one of the guild I had, there was a very shy person that came in, and he was so unconfident in himself and so shy that he almost wanted to leave the guild just because he felt unworthy of being with us. And we were a very nice community, very care-bear, very taking care of each other, very sweet and cozy. So there was really no reason for him to not feel at his place in this guild. And in the end, this guy started to get more and more confident and to be more at his ease. And he ended by first becoming a core member that everyone loved, then by becoming a council member, and now is the co-leader of this guild, now that I've stepped down. And so I'm really, really happy about this, because not only have contributed in the well-being of guildies, but also as a person, he has gained a lot more confidence in himself. And so you really have the feeling that you're doing something useful and making the world a little better place with gaming, which is cool. Not wasting your time completely.
Yeah, see, that's something I think, there is sort of a catchphrase, or I should say, just a phrase that you can hear frequently that kind of seems cliche, but it's true. You get what you put into a community. So if you put in a hell of a lot of love, a hell of a lot of heart into your community, you will get that back, and it will help you grow, and it will help you change. I love watching the evolution of my guild members. I remember having a guild member who was 14, because this was back in WoW when I didn't have restrictions on, hey, we're hardcore raiders, you must meet certain criteria to raid. But we had a 14-year-old who point blank said to us, I hate reading. I don't read. I don't read in school. I don't read books. It's just boring and a waste of time. 8 months later, he was logging in to Vent to tell me the latest 4 books he has read, why he read them, and what he really thinks about them. Watching that kind of evolutionary step in someone's behavior, it hits me here. It's one of the reasons why I started the Campfires, because you get so much from a community other than just pixel boss takedowns or pixel player kills, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it can really help out people, like you explained, to become better in their life. And we have an impact in a guild, and a lot of people are just dismissing the gaming community because we're just playing game. But while playing games, we are still in contact with people, with individual, and so we are changing the world a little bit if we are doing good things inside this gaming community in this virtual world.
Absolutely. Do you guys agree with that before we move into the real topic for today's show?
In general, yes, we do. I mean, you've seen what we've achieved when we have the opportunity to run events and have people get in touch with each other. Like last year at Gamescom, we had a guild shaker that had a number of different guilds that hadn't even met each other. Got a chance to sit down and talk amongst themselves and with developers from other games. It was a great time, and being able to have that sort of impact at a social level is fantastic. I now know people in Enigma that I would never have necessarily known otherwise. But do remember, people, that when you put love into your guild, you get love out. If you put a lot of Scottish people into your guild, you get a Mel Gibson movie.
Okay. I do want to add into this before I let Blank have a statement on this. Do keep in mind, love is not exactly like picture perfect, like in like all of the movies and stuff. Love will hurt, so sometimes there will be troubles inside your guild, but keep it intent to be pure, to work together, to grow together, and trust me, love will heal all. But Blank, you yourself, I'm assuming you agree in the evolutionary positive changes that can come from a guild?
Absolutely. I've experienced a bunch of different changes as both guilds grew into communities, and communities changed over time. It's absolutely wonderful. Whether it is something very small, like in the case of the kid who did more reading. Sometimes it's getting together and doing something that's put together by the community, the gaming community itself, whether it's donating to Athene's Gaming for Good, or it's doing Child's Play, or it's doing there's events that are starting to actually finally get some traction, where people are like, we play games, we spend shit tons of money playing games, why don't we take $5 and toss it somewhere and put it into a charity that's really cool. So it's so cool to see that what started as a bunch of us all just kind of hanging out playing games together, whether competing very intently or playing them casually for fun, has now actually turned into a social platform where we might be able to reach out to a greater good. And I think that's the gaming community as a whole has evolved. So we see it from very small guilds to, hey, gamers are making a difference. Have you heard? Have you seen this? It's pretty cool.
Well, unfortunately, we do get a hell of a lot of bad press. And unfortunately, it's those negative communities that really get the media's attention, because, media likes a good tragedy. And,
of course,
our negative gaming communities are great sources of tragedy. But let us migrate into today's topic. And today's topic, in particular, one of the things that we're discussing in our survival guide. And this is the part of the show where we try to offer advice, suggestions, history, our experience for anybody who is either looking to build a guild, looking for guilds or communities that have a certain style, etc. And this is just to help spread the word. And today, we're talking about the community evolving, or community evolution. Now,
just like Pokemon.
Yes, it's a little bit like Pokemon. No, it has absolutely nothing to do with Pokemon.
I put my community in a ball, and then I do something. And
gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow. No.
Did you not know that's what I play when I'm going through recruitment threads? Pokemon.
Wow. Now we know.
All, yeah.
Now
it's
we know.
secret to recruitment, people. The right motivation.
You play with your Pokeballs, capturing as many new people as you possibly can.
And what you do
you want
after?
to put it that way? Clean up.
Phrasing is all I'm gonna say. I'm just kidding.
Right. So let's do this. Now, Ella, we know for a fact that you've taken the community development and building and recruitment and starting a community to a whole new level. You have done this by stating that you are building a community through a website, the very first time this website has seen a community be built through it. Would you take a moment and explain a little bit about Anouk so people understand where you're coming from, and then why you've made the decision that you have made to start your community guild this way versus something you've done in the past?
Yeah, so Anouk.com, it's social network, very developed for gamers. So the simpler way to say it, it's like a Facebook, but a very, very cool one, just for gamers, where you can make your profile with all your social network like Twitter, YouTube, Twitch TV, Hitbox, Steam, everything. You can link your gaming identities like the World of Warcraft Armory, your League of Legends hero, whatever. And you can contact people via game. You can follow game, follow other gamers. You will share your screenshots. You can comment and like the post of someone else. You can create your own guild page, your blog, your everything. It's really is an amazing tool as a gamer to promote yourself, to chat with other player, to make friends, to build a community, which is across all sort of game and all platform, because you also have the PlayStation, Xbox, and console gamers that can be there. So it's extremely good because you have really this contact with all those people. And in the gaming world as it is today, especially the MMO world, where you do not have just one or two games where to focus on, and where people are just jumping from one game to another in general, it's important to have a place like this where you can keep in touch with all your friends, no matter the games they play, no matter the game you do not play anymore. So I decided to make my community here because I've attempted to build a multi-gaming community, but according to my beliefs and my vision, which is keep something cozy, very familiar, very caring. And it's very difficult to build that into a multi-gaming community because you have few people. You cannot massively recruit if you want to keep the coziness. So it's almost something impossible to do if you do it the normal way. And so I decided to do it on Anouk.com instead of going on Engine or something else. And I think it will help this to be successful, because to be on Anouk, it's like to be on the marketplace. So to take the image, instead of having your shop like far away in the countryside, and you say, hey guys, come, you need to take the road and come see us, our guild is here, hello, come visit us. You're right in the middle of the place where everyone is busy. So even if people don't really care about you, they will cross your shop all the time. And also for the community, especially if you want to be a multi-gaming community, you have all information at your disposal. You can pick up information about wars are there, information about ESO there. You have contact with those people. You want to do a Diablo party, there's guys there that follow the game. So I really think that it's the evolution of MMO, and I really hope that what I will do this, a lot of more people will start to do it as well. Because for now, Anouk is growing, but it still has so much more potential, and people could really go further into it and establish your guild into Anouk right there instead of going on another website. It's maybe less pretty, but I think it's a lot more convenient.
I will let people know MMOBuff is a nuke on Anouk, and I am on there. Gazimov is on there. Our Wolf is on there. I believe Packet Dancer is on there. There's a lot of people on there already. Blank apparently is on there.
Yes,
I don't know about Screen. I try to ignore Screen as often as I possibly can. Yeah. Doesn't quite work very well, but
fair enough. We'll try and keep that barrier in place. That's fine.
Never. I would wither away if I didn't get my weekly dose of Screen. Speaking of Screen, I have a question for you, Screen.
Yes. You may question away.
Now, back in the good old days, good old recruitment and all that other stuff happened in channels because, forums were still brand new in some cases, and some people didn't know to look for forums. And, you're just used to seeing that whole want to join guild friendly levels X to Y. We do these things. Send PST. We'll talk. Back in the old school days.
Wow, I remember seeing people looking for guilds that would level particular levels of character. That's taking it back now.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going old school here. But now we've moved into the day and age where recruitment can occur through social media, where you can, build a community on a whole bunch of different platforms. I mean, she had mentioned you've got things like Engine, etc., and then you've got things like a Nook, or you could build your own website. I mean, there's so many options, so many potentials. How do you feel community development has literally evolved in that process from recruitment to where it was to where it is now? Do you think people make enough use of the tools, or do you think it's just sort of...
I think that is not Amy laughing at the idea of me recruiting people. She's watching something in the background. Like Blank said, everyone in the UK is full of vagrants, so that we can't have our own space. No, recruitment's massively evolved, but that has a lot to do with what has been titled the Facebook generation. Basically, a lot of people have moved on. I think I noted this, and I don't remember who it was I said it to a couple of days ago. But a lot of people don't use forums a lot these days, simply because social media has encroached on the forum medium these days. In fact, a major, a lot of you may not play Aeon, but a major forum for European Aeon players has just shut down because of inactivity. It doesn't really get used even by the players now, and they shut down a couple of days ago. And that's not a dead game by a long way. Still as active as things like Terra, but certain elements of interaction within the internet are not as heavily used, and people have moved away from that. So you have to, when you're looking at recruitment, expand beyond that. Whether people use these tools enough or well enough is a sweeping statement I'm not going to get into, because it varies depending on who you're looking at. But it's definitely a social trend that people are more connected to social media, and guilds guilds and communities, just as well as businesses, do have to be engaging on different platforms to recruit and attract different people. One-to-one attraction of people in game is fantastic and it's great, but to some extent, if you're not utilizing those platforms to get the word out that you're there and to advertise who you are and connect with people above and beyond the forums, then, like Elloa was saying, you're asking people to go further to reach you, and that becomes a barrier to recruitment.
I can totally see that. Now, Blank, I'm going to flip this on the other side of the coin, and I am going to ask you a question about how you take a game, or a guild or a community in its current standpoint and ensure its survival through evolution.
Military doctrine, in my own experience, tells me that you have to shoot, move, and communicate. In this example of gaming, you have to game, move, or grow, and communicate. You start in a game, and you have to grow. I just had a conversation with a very large established guild that's been around for 15 or 20 years. And they are very much used to being invited to everything, like closed testing, stuff like this, stuff like that. And just recently, in the last couple of years, it's fallen off. And they hired me as a consultant and said, what are we doing wrong? And I literally sat down and explained Facebook, social media, websites like a Nook. I explained the convention idea. I explained, it's no longer the old school way of thinking. It's funny. Promoting yourself in trade chat and advice chat used to be the best way of doing it. Now it's almost looked down upon. Like, look at those gross people looking for people in advice chat. Like, that's scummy when you have other ways to do it. And one of the things that I've tried to, with a couple different people I've done consulting with, is explain, where do you want to grow? What are your avenues? What do you have? And then build upon your strengths. Like, if you have people that are really good on Reddit, and that's the platform you enjoy, and that's the type of people that you bring into your community, you should grow that, and there's specific ways to do that. The same for Twitter, the same for Facebook, YouTube. All of these social platforms have specific ways of building your stuff up. But if you remain stagnant, you will become obsolete. People will no longer... It doesn't matter if you used to be world ranked. It doesn't matter if you did this or that. If you're not still being connected and plugged into the world around you. And it's something that the old dinosaurs of MMOs, especially the ones that have been around for anything from 10, 15, 20 years, they're just like, we've been doing this forever. I'm like, dude, nobody knows who you are. You have the presence of my grandfather walking into a strip club. People look at you real quick, they're like, okay, and that's it. That's all there is to it. They're just like, what's that guy doing here? And then you just kind of walk away. I'm like, you want to walk into a place and have everybody know who you are, and there's specific ways to grow and get there.
And there was me about to think you were going to say you want to be the very best, like no one ever was.
You just have to pave your own way. Some people come to me and they're like, I just want to grow YouTube. And I'm like, that's it. And they're like, that's it. That's all. And it's a totally different formula than growing social media. Reddit, I hate Reddit. I charge people more to do stuff with Reddit because I hate it. But Reddit is a totally different animal. Like, people, you have to pick how you want to grow. What your goals and the way that you achieve them and the means to go in there have to match each other. So if you want more Facebook likes, there's specific ways to do that. But a lot of people, literally, they come to somebody like me and they're like, we just want to grow. Like, they don't even, we just want people to know that we're here. And I'm like, well,
right.
That's really broad. But it's really cool. Like, somebody like Elloa is like, I'm going to do this through a Nook. To me, that's very interesting because it's very particular. It's very small. But as both the Nook grows and her community grows, they help each other. And to me, it's kind of like it's the first test of time to see how well that works. Because I've done some stuff with a Nook, but I saw them more as a social platform of a mixture of Twitter and Facebook that's going to take time to grow. And I find it very interesting that she's going to be able to find potentially better quality because of the pool being a little bit smaller. So I'm interested to see how things shake out for her, that's for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
I was going to say, I'm now going to put her on the spot, and I'm going to ask her a question. Let us imagine that your community has been around for 6 years. You guys have the community you want. It's that, heartfelt, loving, warm group of individuals who play games together. So you have succeeded in your goal, and it has been around for 5-6 years. Congratulations. Next, you have a new game is coming out, and people are starting to get interested in it, and you're like, yes, we're all going to start to play this game. This sounds like fun together. Let's all go do this together. And then you have one person who says, maybe we should change the rules a little bit and make the guild a little bigger. And then you have someone else who says, maybe these rules need to, be condensed, and we actually need a smaller guild, and we need to kick people out because we've got too many. And now you're starting to get people who have been there from the beginning who've seen it grow. You have people who are coming in who are like, you know what, maybe things need to change. How do you balance out and make the decision that's going to have the evolution continue, but at the same time not do so in a way that it becomes detrimental? Do you have any suggestions there?
Yeah, I think it's really depends of what are your goal. If you're a guild which is aiming for succeeding in some game, like for raiding, it will be very different. That's a guild that focus on the community. Here, what I try to build and what I hope will work for sometimes, it's a structure that allow flexibility, and that allow the guilds, or each guild, because we will have several guilds, to evolve separately while still keeping the identity. So what I want is to build a strong identity. We are like that. We believe in this. This is who we are, and we are forged in that. We adhere to this philosophy. But from there, each project can take its own route. So World of Warcraft Guild can become a hardcore one, and they can put a lot of effort into raiding and to recruit more hardcore-ish players, until we keep the same philosophy, which is being nice with each other and to keep a sort of cozy way of doing. So I'm not sure how it will work out, because I have not done that yet. I have not succeeded yet. So I can tell you that in 6 years if it's going fine. But for now, it's an experiment, and I believe it can work. Otherwise, I will not have started it. But we will have to see. I cannot make any promises.
No worries.
What I know for sure is that you need to stay honest, to know who you are and what you want, and to not try to lie to people. A lot of guilds are doing that. They are throwing sparkle and fairy dust at the face of people, and by doing so, you are attracting the wrong person, and then your guilds will evolve badly. So the recruitment and the promotion of you is extremely important. And if you want to keep your guilds, you need to attract the right person. And so I will not want to make a massive recruitment process. I will want to show myself, I'm like this. Do you like me? Then come to me. You don't like me? Then there is plenty of other guilds there. No problem. I think it's mainly that.
I like the way you think. It strikes me as interesting how, and it depends on, like you said, the goal that you have for your community. It depends on the goal that you have for your group. It's, there are going to be times where it's best to say no and walk away from somebody or walk away from the community. I mean, I've turned people down in recruitment in multiple instances before because I knew that their community, what they were looking for in a community, wasn't what we had. So it's better to be honest with them about that than to sugarcoat something. It's not about the numbers. It's the quality over the quantity for my type of thing. There are others who want the quantity over the quality. And then there are others who try to find a thin, fine line between both and walk it. And it can be very dangerous. Now, we have a comment that came from one of our viewers, and I'd like to tackle it. And I'm going to let basically the floor open up, and whoever wants to step up to the plate to respond to this first, you get the option to do so. However, if people remain quiet and nobody steps up to the plate, I will randomly pick on one of you to answer first, like I normally do. So, PX Adam says, I feel like it's hard to a single player to reach out sometimes when looking at guilds. I have ended up lucky to have a friend in a guild, or I've had to run my own. Many of us know that particular feeling. I couldn't find the guild I wanted. I made one. Yay! That was how at least my big guild started. Now I found a guild, but anyway. He says, I feel like I always have a hard time finding a guild to join for friendship and fun, not just to be a number or a body with their title over me. And I am also hearing someone from your background, Elloa.
Sorry, that's my boyfriend. It's a real thing.
We'll look the other way if you threw things. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah,
violence is accepted in this channel.
Apparently it is. But yes, so they feel like they have a hard time finding guilds that meet what they want culture-wise. Now, this is something that I have actually noticed recently. There have been some changes in the guild that I'm in, and I have seen people who just go, well, you're the only ones that I've heard of. I don't know anything else. How do I find the communities that really benefit me? I mean, you want to be honest, Elloa, for example, through a Nook about what it is that your community is and what it is you're looking for. How do you ensure people get that information? How do you ensure that people know where to look for, say, a guild versus just, adding you as a friend on Facebook, so to speak?
Well, the way I'm promoting my communities in general, I do not really have that problem because I'm on every forum and every social media, on Twitch TV, on YouTube, on everything I can. because that's just I like to do that. So yeah, I'm just making myself visible. That's all. I show myself. I spend a lot of time to say, hey, my guild is doing this, and we have done that, and look, this is a video of us doing this, and I'm streaming us doing this fun stuff. This is a screenshot of our guild, blah blah blah. And so I don't think it's very hard to do that, but maybe there's a lot of people that are not taking the time and the effort and the energy to do this, because it is taking a lot of time and energy. And well, not long ago, I was with Guild Umra. I've spent 9 months with them, and I was in charge to do this kind of job because I like to do that. And it's, especially for a big guild like this, which is on different games and such, you need to be present in every forum. So on Wildstar Central, on Wildstar Core, on Tamriel Foundry, on whatever else you need, you need to be there. And not only you need to be there, you need to participate, you need to have your signature, which is promoting your guild, and you need to look smart, if possible, not look like stupid. And on the beta forum, if you have access to the beta, and simply be present, people will notice you, and then they will say, hey, you're in a guild. What is your guild? And you can say just almost casually, oh, but my guild is over there, and just have a look.
Well, what would you recommend to a player who feels they can't really approach guilds or they don't know how? What would you recommend for them?
That's another problem, because the player that want to reach out a guild, he will go maybe on Toad Forum and such, he will be looking at the guild list, he will not always find what he's looking for, because he will find the guild which are the most aggressive in recruitment. That's not in the case of someone who wants to find a friendly guild. Most friendly guilds do not advertise themselves. So he will. If it's someone that wants to find a friendly guild, familiar guild, or small guilds, it will have more difficulties to find it than a hardcore raiding guild. Hardcore raiding guilds are all over the place. You will find them easily. But teeny guilds, I think you need to find them in game and make friends in game and see around. Basically by doing dungeon, hey, you're in guild, what is your guild about and such. Or we need to encourage guilds, small guild, advertise your guild on alert.com, for instance.
I like the plugging that she does there. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Right. So do you have any advice, Screen, for someone who doesn't know how to go about finding a guild? Now, the reason why I kind of taken us in this direction is because you can't have a guild evolve if you don't have people join you. And contextually, we've had someone who is watching state they have problems with this. So, yes, what's your advice?
Here's a bit of a hint. Like Elloa said, you're going to find the most aggressive hardcore guilds are the ones recruiting on forums. But do you know what? These guys that are the hardcore recruiting guilds, like, say, for example, like us in Afterlife, we have a vested interest in building a good all-round community. We may not want a casual player in guild, but I'll tell you something, if someone reaches out to our guild and goes, I need some help finding a guild on the forum, then you'll generally get pointed in the right direction. We don't want an unhappy community with 3 or 4 really good hardcore guilds. We want a good community all round on a server. I run, for example, here's an example. I run a 2-week trial period for all new members. The reason we run that is to make sure that people gel within because you can do all the recruitment you want, but at the end of the day, people might have issues, they might not gel, they might find that they've stepped into the wrong thing. And I always say in an interview with people, if after 2 weeks you don't think we fit, talk to me and we'll find the right guild for you, because I don't want people to be unhappy in the game and I want you to find the right guild. And that's the truth of the matter. Any decent recruitment officer, guild leader or community manager will help you find the right guild if they can physically do it. So if you don't, so reach out to people that are community leads within your game, or they have a good standing within the community that exists already. They will know the other guilds probably better than you do as a player that doesn't know their way around, and they will point you in the right direction. And it doesn't matter if they have a high standing because they stream, or they have high standing because they're a hardcore guild leader from a PvP community that you're never going to be interested in doing, just reach out to them because they will help you.
Mm-hmm. I will admit that is something that I have done in the past 2 weeks. I've had quite a few. I'm looking for this. Is that you? And I'm like, not quite, but I can point you in the direction of those I know that would be closer to what you're looking for. But yes, I agree with that. Now, Blank, I want to throw this question at you because I think your response is going to be the most comical. You ready for this?
I'm just waiting. I can't.
Spartan Jesters, asks, what do you think of people in guilds that go around auto-inviting or spamming the zone chat? He feels people that do that when you join the guild, it isn't the best of what you hoped for. He'd like to know your opinion on this. Now, the reason I am picking Blank, by the way, to answer this and not necessarily opening up for the entire loot council. Wow, it's leftover remnants from yesterday's discussion about loot distribution on MMO Buff. Wow. But the Campfire Council that we are, he tends to have an opinion that I know Screen and I both kind of agree with. So I'm going to let him soapbox for us.
Once upon a time, in an MMO or game a long time ago, in first-person shooters, you would play on pub servers. And if you didn't suck, you would get an invite to the team or a chance to try out for the team. And then MMOs came out, and forums were garbage. Forums were nowhere to be because there were not enough moderators. It was the wasteland of the internet. So the best way to get known was to talk in global area/zone. And you would, hi, we are, and they had to be made specifically, we are this type of guild, and we do this and we do that, and you just put all of your information in there, and then you'd send it out. Now, this was, I don't know, years and years and years ago. Nowadays, we have this lovely stuff like Twitter, Facebook, a Nook, websites, Reddit, YouTube, I don't know, pick one.
Do you want a Reddit guild?
So, for people that are first of all, there's two things being said here. People that auto-invite people in, it might as well just be like a big field of cattle where it's just like, come on in, like you are not doing anything but holding a place for whatever. Or in certain games, you're being farmed for the influence or guild points or whatever. You know, that's what you bring. And for the ones who spam in advice or trade or global, while it used to be the best means, now I look down on it so much that I troll it in WildStar. Like, I'll see someone put up their big post and I'll be like, chewing on my food, picking my nose at Twitch.tv/real Blankspace. Like, I can't because there's so many new ways now to even forums are becoming like a way of the past. You know what forums are now? Forums are an EP at how many people have viewed your thread. That's literally what it's become. The information that's there, you could literally put your logo, put this is what we're looking for, check out our website, and that's it.
Yeah.
I've just found out recently that the social change for forum boards is like, well, they must be cool. They've got 20,000 views. So people are paying people to do like forum view bots. Like, no joke.
Oh, yeah.
This is a thing, and I just found this out in the last 6 months. I had no idea.
I do not agree with that at all.
Well, you want to have a discussion about MMOs, guilds, and reputation management? It's a whole show.
That's a whole show in itself. Yes, it is.
That's what I wanted to say was that if you are that desperate that you're in the game, I suggest doing something better. I'm going to give you some free advice. This normally comes at $50 or $100 an hour. Do a 4-man dungeon run. The one person that comes in, if they don't suck, try to make a new friend. That is better recruiting. That's you're going to retain somebody. They are going to be more strongly drawn to your brand than, yo, join my guild at blah-blah-blah.com.
Yeah,
Pro
exactly.
advice.
I agree with that. I've run this kind of event in Guild Wars 2 to promote my guild as well. We were making baby fractals. It was really fun. So we were inviting new low-level character for introduction to fractals, and that was a way we find some really cool person. But it has disappeared since the looking for dungeon thingy that is implemented in every game. It's a lot harder now to do that kind of stuff.
I love it.
There's
I go without a tank or a healer. That's how I used to ninja people. I used to go in a 4-man, and we would go a couple DPS and a healer, a couple DPS and a tank. We'd all queue up. Once you have a healer or a tank, you're going to get in sooner. And then
he ninjas people.
And then I'd be like, "Hey, dude, you didn't suck. We're kind of badass. We're number 2 or 3 on the server. Why don't you come, like, you know, apply?" And they'd be like, "Really? Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, you did pretty good." Best way to make new friends and to be able to see people before you even see their application. Screenager, what are you doing?
She used the F word.
I did that?
She used the F word.
Wow.
Who did
really...
me?
No, she said fractals.
Oh.
Okay, what we have here is a failure to communicate. We have a Guild Wars 2 Worldview world, and we have a Guild Wars 2 PvE in the same conversation.
Oh, that's what.
Yes.
Okay, no,
So apparently Screen is now
annoying me.
frustrated. And I wonder how long he'll stay like that. That'll be interesting. But yes.
I left before fractals were a thing, so I'm kind of happy. Like, I don't have... Because Screen's like fractals. I'm like, wait, what? Is that like some PvE thing? I don't know.
It's a mathematical
some
equation.
PvE nonsense.
Okay.
I should say it's a mathematical.
It's in fact the basis of our discussion regarding token progression in PvE that we had yesterday.
Right?
I don't know.
I am moving
Focus
on.
words were so annoying.
I am moving on so that we can, grow from this conflict.
I'm just gonna type with my feet now.
It wouldn't surprise me if you were actually accomplished at that. But yes, another question for you. And this kind of leads into based off of what you had said. This is again from PX Adams. Do you feel that outside voice communication has hurt in-game chat and communities? For instance, I see many times in PvP, no one's actually chatting because they're all on Skype or Vent or TeamSpeak or Rake Call or Mumble or insert your voice comm here. Do you believe that that has actually impacted the ability to have communities in game?
Yeah, it's possible, but I think it's more internal into guilds because you're team speaking with your guild basically. I know that in Guild Wars 2, for instance, there were some team speak, especially for World versus World and stuff like that. But in general, it's just your guild business. So I'm not exactly sure that it will change the mentality. I think what have changed the mentality is this dungeon finder crap. I'm sorry to speak about that again, but that have made the players become so much more solo into their mind. It started with World of Warcraft, but it has plagued the whole world of the MMO. And now players are used to just click, go, join, say hi if they're polite. You can thank them.
You're lucky if you get a hello.
Yeah.
We did a show on this on Monday, and I believe my statement was something along the lines of looking for group, looking for dungeon, especially cross server, has killed communities.
Yes,
really
I agree so much with that.
It does mean though that as a community we have to evolve so that we can tackle the problems that have come to us from these things.
Yes, exactly, but we have to rebuild and to fight it and to really counter it. And it's not easy. And people are generally lazy, and so to increase the laziness of people. So if you want to make things change, and I'm sure a lot of people will participate happily to it, but you need to be a lot more courageous than before because you need so much more energy to make people move their ass now.
Well, I think part of it comes down to the fact that, in today's day and age, so many tools have been given to people. People think it's the norm, especially if they're starting out new. And I mean, people don't remember what it was like when you were running dungeons in World of Warcraft, so to speak, and someone was a ninja looter, and you could tell the next guild leader over, hey, just so that you know, we ran with this person, they ninja'd this gear and left without any word. And that person basically gets blackballed across the server. There was a way for the community to police itself. It's a little more difficult now. However, I do at least appreciate, and we'll just throw out there, for example, in WildStar, because I know that World of Warcraft has also brought this in, the ability to check, I only want to have looking for group on my server. Only people from my server are people I want to show up in my LFG, which I think is a brilliant thing, because it at least means that if you do that and you're trying to do the ninja recruitment methodology that it has been mentioned here, not necessarily agreeing with it, but it has been mentioned, and people do it. I mean, I admit I have met people through that whole running around with random people. But the intent was not to ninja them until after I got to know them. And then I'm like, hey, you really should join our guild. My intent was not to set up a run to ninja people. But, you know, there you go. But yes, so we all have to evolve. We're all community oriented. Now I'm going to shut up and I'm going to basically let you speak, Elloa.
Okay.
Now, we are going to, after we finish speaking with you, we're going to go heavily into the Healing Over Time event, just so that you know. But this is your chance to take a nuke and tell people why they should join it, why they should get involved. Point out your community so people can find you. This is your chance to brag, so to speak.
Yeah. So why you should join Anuk? Simply because today, something really difficult for players, I think, and for guild leaders and for guild friends, is to see your guildies jump from one game to another every month. So first there is this new brand game. For me, it started with Star Wars: The Old Republic. It lasted 1 month. After 1 month, I was all alone in my guild. Everyone else has stopped to play. Then we started to play Terra. I've put so much energy into Terra, and we created this guild. It lasted 2 or 3 months, and after everyone was gone again, then I say, okay, no, I'm dropping this. They started to make the Guild Wars 2 guilds, and it lasted 1 month again. And so it's impossible. You have so much people that are jumping from one game to another simply because there's too much good games today. It's a nightmare. It's a paradise, but it's a nightmare in the same time. I want to play them all, but I cannot. And so Anuk will allow you to keep in touch with all your friends, all your guildies, no matter the games they play or not. I think for me, it's the principal attraction. It's to keep contact with people, and it's not important what they play in the end, because you will still share screenshots, you will still chat, you will still comment to each other and have a daily contact if you want. The second good thing, if you are doing something like a Twitch TV or like a YouTube, it's a very good way to promote yourself, because in Anuk you can gather all your information. Instead of saying, hey, follow me on Twitter and on Facebook, and this is my guild page, and that's my blog, and that's my Tumblr, blah, blah, and this is my Imgur, and I have also that, and my YouTube channel for WildStar, and that's my YouTube channel for WoW. And here you have everything at one place. It's extremely convenient. And so on my Twitch TV, I have just my Anuk profile. And if you want to know more about me, you just click on the image and poof, you fall on my Anuk profile. It's easier that way.
Yep.
So that's basically it.
Right. Do you want to type into the Twitch chat your Anuk profile so people can click upon it and follow you as they desire, as well as your community Anuk as well? And on that note, I then turned to my co-hostesses in sequin dresses and leather, which is the direction we're taking today. I don't know why. I go, Blankspace, Screen. What on earth is happening this weekend? You obviously are doing nothing, right? You're bored, right?
I have to wash my leather corset. I'm going to be quite busy.
I'm going to be steaming my sequin dress. Like, I guess that's what those dresses get done, steamed, I guess.
I don't know. I've never owned a sequined item in my life. I have no clue how you're supposed to clean them. I don't.
Throw them in. Probably throw them away. This weekend is Healing Over Time.
Yes.
It is the 29th. A lot of you that are here from the Viking Nation know that we have been running out, whether it's in real life or on the internet, and raising some dollar bills. The event itself is separated times for EU and NA. You'd have to check it out, healingovertime.org. However, there's going to be schedules that are going to be placed up. You're going to be able to watch everybody on the Twitch page. There's a team page. You're going to be able to see who's playing what at what times. All of the money raised goes to Child's Play, which is an amazing charity that gives dollar bills back to the kids and all over. It used to be a lot smaller. Now it's gotten global in its reach, and battered women's shelters, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be joining people like myself and Screen as we play video games. And I'm not sure, I don't know what other people are doing, but I am incentivizing donations for my dignity, my sanity, whatever. So
the few things you have left of that dignity and insanity, you're auctioning off to the highest bidder.
I'll auction them off for the kids, dude. It does not bother me. Like, oh, you want to donate $500 and you want me to sing "I'm a Little Teapot"? You got it, dude. You donate it, I will. You got it. Like, we want to see you walk around in a dress and play a video game, bro. You donate to the kids, you got it. Charity's charity. I can give a crap less about how ridiculous I look. If that ridiculousness helps some kid or somebody out there, whatever.
Indeed.
Yeah, you're right.
You want him to play Hello Kitty online? He'll do it.
Yes.
And on that note, I've been making
Yes.
some graphics for Healing Over Time. I'll just drop it into chat there.
Uh-oh. Now I have to go look and see what you're doing.
Oh my god. What?
Screen will be playing Hello Kitty online, it appears. I will tell you, I have some guildies who play it, who really enjoy it. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh dear God.
But yes, there's also, from what I have heard, a couple of rather interesting fights coming up as well. There is a MOBA battle, a Dota 2 battle, actually, between my guild and Mystic, I believe. There's a whole bunch going on. I really wish it wasn't during Rezzed, so, I could actually participate in the 24-hour gaming event, and as well as sacrifice, donate to sacrifice Blank's dignity. I'd happily give my dignity up as well to help out the kidlets. Instead, I'll be doing it in a different manner and in a different way. And I will be putting my money where my mouth is. But yes, it is okay. We have Healing Over Time. Get involved, folks. Definitely get involved. Spread the word. Don't leave it in the gaming community. Take it out of the gaming community. Show people. Sit down with people at work. Go, dude, you got $5? Check this out.
We have the things because of what I said to Sam last week. She made that on Twitter, and one of the guys of Viking Nation's been going around to the different hospitals that he works at and handing them out to people, so they're aware of the charity event. So you can. It's on my Twitter. I'm sure it's probably on Healing Over Time's Twitter. They have a thing that explains the event, and then has a little tab where it says go to healingovertime.org. You can check it out, and if you're worried about your tax-deductible credit, they've got all that stuff right there. So it's for the kids. Do it up.
Yep.
No, that's not happening.
Now, let's see. I think we've pretty much come to the end of our show. I have to say a very, 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 very big thank you to you, Elloa, for putting up with the 2 trolls and the host.
Oh, that was awesome.
I'll let you figure out which one of us is
me.
trolls. Yes, and if you are interested, we'd love to have you back at some point in time, and we can dig into even more issues, and we can tackle even more community things, etc., etc., etc. What a great word.
Yes, myself and Blank have many more problems we'd like to share with the community.
We would. I use this as my own personal therapy time, so it's great.
There's the foot thing, and it's not pretty.
I would be very happy to be back, that's for sure.
Right, so here's what we're going to do. We are now going to give everybody a chance to do their own form of goodbye. So, Elloa, if you would like to say goodbye to everyone who was watching and to the people on YouTube land who watch it because they can't make it to the live show.
Well, Goodbye, everyone. Take care. Be happy. Be joyful, and game strong.
Now I have to ask, can you do it in French?
Ok. Bonne nuit tout le monde. J'espère que vous avez bien aimé le show. À bientôt. Salut.
Do you speak any other languages besides English and French, by the way?
No, I should speak Dutch because I'm Belgian, but I can just say Goedenavond, alle samen. And that's it. And I try to learn a bit of Norwegian because my boyfriend is a real Viking, a true king of the Norse.
Oh, shots fired!
Whoa!
I can see the table being
Whoa!
flipped here.
Oh, I'm kidding.
Wow.
She brought it.
Wow.
She brought it to the table.
She's like one of those people who shows up in the stream and goes, "Hey, dickhead, Vikings didn't have horns." Listen
Right?
to this.
Oh, that is great. That is so going into a quick bite because, oh yeah, she so went there. That's great. But go ahead, Blank. Go ahead and say bye-byes to everybody.
I had like a nicer one all set up until I got all bum rushed and attacked here on my own show. My boyfriend's a real Viking. Goodness gracious. Thanks for stopping by the show. Sorry if I sound like a dying, I don't even know what I sound like. It sounds terrible in my head. Yeah, that thing. Like, and no matter how bad I sound, I'll never sound worse than Screenager. So, there's that to look forward to be happy about. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week. And please show up for the Healing Over Time event. Even if you could show up for 5 minutes, even if you don't donate $1 or a cent, you can tell somebody on social media. You can let somebody else know. Word of mouth, letting people know is just as important support-wise as a dollar bill. So that's what I got to say. And thank you, the most eloquent, beautiful Elloa, for coming on to our show. And for saying your goodbye the way that you did. Screenager?
Now, see, this is funny because now we've had Elloa say her goodbye and she totally trolled Blank. We've now had Blank say his goodbye and he's totally trolled Screen. So now I'm expecting Screen and his goodbye to troll me.
Well, thank you, Ella, for coming and visiting us today. Thank you to my hosts, Pseudo and Blankspace. Blankspace, a man who's afraid to fire shots back at a girl who is over an ocean away from him, but that's alright because he's the Viking King.
Listen, I don't know how they do it in Scotland, but we don't strike back against girls over here in America.
That is blatant sexism. Sexism.
If I do make it,
You're a disgrace to your Viking heritage. Just enough.
If I make it to Gamescom, you'll have to show me how this works.
You do realise you're picking a fight with a Glaswegian. Glasgow being the knife crime capital of Europe.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
For those who couldn't understand what he said, it is the knife crime capital of Europe. I'm sorry.
Don't get me, my bucky. I'm going to start talking like I'm from Glasgow, right? I won't even bother to try and talk nice. Just bolt.
Well, at least you're not doing Cockney rhyming slang.
What?
Cockney rhyming
Never
slang.
mind. No. America.
Don't make me beep the show.
America.
Beep, beep. But yes, and this is Pseudo. I want to thank you guys all for showing up. Again, all the more reason I love my hosts, I love my visitors, and I love you guys out there who are watching. You guys bring good questions. Remember, if you have anything in particular you want us to tackle topic-wise, or maybe you even want to come on to the campfire and share your own thoughts about how communities should work, evolve, etc., contact me, voice@MMOBuff.TV. And follow us on all the social medias, because that's what we do. But I'm going to make it very quick. America greater than
I'm not a Frenchie.
Frenchie. She's not French. In fact, I think you insult her by calling her French. And on that note, I am just going to have to mute absolutely everybody, mute myself included, just end the show. And thank you guys so much for being a part of the Campfire episode 12. And remember, if you've missed most of it or part of it, you can catch it on YouTube later. Ta-ta! Diddle pip.